Hello, I'm Carolyn Holzman, and this is Confessions of an SEO. Here in Confessions, I confess. I talk a lot about SEO in various forms, whether it's testing, stories, rants, new things, and the types of things that I talk about today. So expect some very plain talk, not a lot of engineering mumbo jumbo. I think there are plenty of SEOs who can be extremely exact in their description, but sometimes it's not very accessible in their language. So, like I said, I don't have any complaints when that happens. I just want to make sure that, I know I learn and retain information best when things are said very plainly. And it's my intention that at the end of each Confessions episode, all of us walk away with improved, workable descriptions and understanding. So welcome back to season 5, episode 13 of Confessions of an SEO. Now here's something I learned: when you have your health, you have everything. Yes, I am grateful for modern medicine and access to qualified healthcare professionals. I think everybody should have access, don't you? The end of the March core update is so last week. Not a lot of weeping and wailing in this one. Most people report in relation to, I'm going to say like the before and the after results in general seem to come across as kind of like a nothing burger, at least in how I read a lot of the anecdotal responses. Now, I do troll around a little more, and there were some reports claiming, that the core update started earlier. Google responded to that specific claim and said, they do from time to time do small algorithmic updates, but since they aren't that widespread, they don't sort of announce it as a full core update. Now, interestingly, I read some complaints on Twitter, one in particular, because I kind of like it when people, make it easy from their Twitter or Blue Ski handles what their domains are. And when they do, every time I check on the guys who are crying, AI and crap content is outranking me, when I look at their site, I see it plain as day. Table of content links. I keep telling people it's now approaching a whole year. Now, I know in the scheme of things that just pointing out what's not working without being able to offer a lifeboat may not feel very helpful, but I promise you, there is a lifeboat in the making, so watch this space. Okay, so today's episode is called Just Eat It, for all you Weird Al Yankovic fans out there. Okay, that dated me. All right, so today's topic is about EAT, specifically experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. There's an article that was published yesterday on Search Engine Journal discussing a report that surfaced in which John Mueller said categorically that EAT cannot be sprinkled into content pages. Now, regular listeners know I'm not a fan of parroting back Google developer documents and calling it education. EAT started as EAT, and then an extra E joined the band. So now it's EEAT. This description of what EAT is supposed to be originated in the Quality Raters Guidelines. Now, these are recommendations provided to real humans that Google sort of deputizes to go and visit websites. And they are rating these websites that they go to for quality and usefulness. And then they provide their findings back to Google so Google can essentially make sure, they aren't missing important things or that, misinterpreting things algorithmically. Because, let's face it, it is kind of easy to fool algorithms, but humans can tell a blank page when they get to one, or a contact or about page that really doesn't feel like a real person or organization. So these guides started the chase of EAT signals and the idea of being able to put more EAT on a page, even though no one could tell you precisely what EAT looked like on a page. I kid you not. Much like Core Web Vitals, I really hope this report will finally put an end to the BS surrounding whatever people mean when they have said, we recovered a site and worked on EAT factors into the content. Okay, so settle down, everybody. This is what Mueller said, and I quote, sometimes SEOs come to us or mention that they've added EAT to their web pages. That's not how it works. Sorry, you can't sprinkle some experiences on your web pages. It's like that doesn't make sense. Unquote. Thank you, John Mueller. But here's the rub. And if you read this article too quickly, you might miss it. So allow me to pop a spotlight on it. First, he did clarify that they do apply something algorithmically, but only in certain topics. They call them your money or your life niches, health and wealth, topics where you as a consumer might have a vested interest in those who may have been trained in business or medical schools, and not someone just hoping you believe them to buy the pills they make or investing your retirement into some scheme where they can run off with your money. All right, so let's go back to the article because this is where it's kind of important. Quote, Google algorithmically considers EAT for pages that affects users' finances or health, which is referred in the Quality Raters Guide as your money or your life, YMYL topics. Now, these are topics where the reliability and trust are critical for user safety and confidence, and where Google is especially concerned that these qualities are expressed in some ways internally and or externally about those sites. Now, wait for it, because you might miss this. Google doesn't say what those signals are. Boom. Okay, so there are some ideas floating about, and there is one that kind of keeps circling back and continues to grab my attention. Do you remember the Google lawsuit that was in the news back in the fall of 2023? There was a lot going on for me around that time. Also, this was also around the time when they went to mobile first indexing. But I remember seeing some slides that were leaked out of the court proceedings that were demonstrating how Google was using visitors to pages to not just measure time on site or, click-through data or other things, but to understand the topic of the page. Now, I know I pulled some thread thing on Twitter, and I likely have it somewhere. I haven't been able to find it yet, but I'll keep looking for it. Anyway, the point is, with this confirmation that EAT isn't an on-page factor or demonstrable in the content, that starts to make a little more sense. The things we're talking about now, like if you have visitors that are helping you determine this topic, that's something that's definitely measurable. I mean, they know every stinking thing about us, which sites we go to, what topics we like to read about. It's all about their paid ads. So why else and how else would they even want to know everything about us, right? If it's not a way to ease some money out of our pockets. Now, the fact that none of it is going to come from what's on a web page, I go back to the question, how many businesses have been sold a horse and pony show on EAT? Oh, your content needs more EAT. You're not getting the results you should because your pages don't have enough EAT. This site was recovered because we added more EAT to the pages. what exactly is an EAT signal? We might be able to get to the bottom of this someday, but only if we're not busy running off like excited little dogs chasing every stick that gets thrown, because we can't risk the possibility that whatever got thrown isn't the easy button that we've been looking for all these years. So now where does this leave us if we can't put EAT on our page? I mean, I know I also say you can't put helpful content on your page either. Well, my family and I have been rewatching Law and Order all the way back from like season 1. They have like 20 seasons worth on Hulu. And I've been learning more about what allocution is and how it involves a form of successful answers, meaning no squiggle room if you want to get the best possible deal in light of something that you did wrong. I kind of feel like we need to have something like that in our industry, or maybe confessions of EAT for everyone who took us and all these business owners down the EAT trail. I do wish it was possible for someone or everyone to go back and amend all the acres of content written about EAT signals, EAT factors, and replace it with the last sentence in the article that was published yesterday. And that is, nobody really knows what the EAT signals are. Well, that's it for me this week. Real quick, if you're working with content and backlinks, check out Indexilla. It's my indexing platform to get content and backlinks indexed completely within Google's terms of service, safe for every type of link, even your money site. You can find it at indexilla.io. And if you want to give it a try, there are trial accounts that come with 25 credits, compliments of Indexilla. And it's 1 credit per URL submission within your first month. If you've got questions about your site, my specialty is forensic SEO. Sorry. Typically, there are answers, and very often they can be right underneath our noses. To stay on the cutting edge of the state of indexing, check out Crawl or No Crawl on Substack. You can find it by searching for Crawl or No Crawl. It's got its own knowledge graph, and I share what I'm learning every day from the state of Google's indexation system. Thank you for being a listener. I hope I can count on you coming back next week. If you have questions about today's topic, you can reach out and text your question to confessions at 512-222-3132. Thanks again, and until next week, I'll see you in the SERPs.